Hello everyone, greetings. My name is Joseph, course in the English 5 course for the Virtual University. Thank you all for being here. Today I'm going to speak about or to give my opinion for a specific theme that can be problematic. So that's the one to perish the firearms for, in this case, Colombia and around the world. So, for this activity, we need to select a theme to speak about, and one of them is the access to firearms and why it's so important to defend this constitutional. Uh, as I mentioned, I know that there have been many people who have mentioned in restricting access to guns due to recent inconveniences around the world. However, most gun owners are citizens who use them as long as they are safe and responsible. Firearms are part of the American culture, as we know, and they also used for protections, sport, hunting, and some other activities, and also for citizens to respect our freedom and the law. Making more controls will do nothing, will do anything to stop the dangerous criminal that ignores the current law in many countries. Instead of that, it will increase this fear that all citizens have because they are free to use them, and actually it's a little unfair because we had seen how the criminals have free access to do robberies, massacres, and all they want, and we're here without being able to do anything to stop this. Actually, the law to have arms is protected by the Constitution. This fundamental freedom should not be rejected. Guns are necessary for self-defense and the protection to our families. Also, evidence show that guns are restriction do not effectively reduce the gun violence. For example, the United Kingdom has very strict gun law, and the rates of violent guns increases day by day, increases daily. Uh, Actually, it rates of critical assault and robbery now surpass is more than the United States that is at this moment, which is something new that we were not prepared for. So the majority of gun owners are extremely responsible and they never use their gun in a inappropriate manner. In fact, armed citizens have stopped many mass shootings and violent crimes. Instead of forbidding specifically type of guns, we should focus on solving systemic problems like mental health, poverty, and family breakdown, which is a factor present in almost all mass shootings. Sorry. Well, but to continue with this, by contrast, in the United States, violent crimes and mass shootings happen with most frequency in areas which has restrict gun laws, such as Chicago and Washington, clearly demonstrating that gun controls have not achieved their intended goal to prevent it. So evidence show that more guns in the hands for responsible citizens reduce violent crimes. Cities like Kansas, Georgia, which mandate gun ownership, have very low crime rates around all the United States. So that's the part for looking for the United States and the United Kingdom as well. But now looking here in my country, in Colombia, which is I live, Colombia has high levels of crimes and violence. The citizens should have the option to defend themselves from illegally personal arms, and protection in areas with guerrilla, paramilitary, and or drug cartels presence, which is the most commonly violence that it happens in all the Colombian history. There are rural areas for this kind of paramilitary and situations, which has often lack police presence, in people leaving their trust on guns to defend their homes, families, and property because they cannot depend only on the law enforcement, which is very poor law enforcement. This is something bad to know. Yeah, that's the truth. because Colombia has a rich tradition of hunting and sport involving the legal use of arms. So these parts of the national culture that must be protected while combating the illegal use of firearms. For example, in countries like Mexico, drug collectors and other criminal guns have the option to get the guns illegally with easy option regardless of restrictions, which means that more regulation only disarms citizens in Colombia. So, in my opinion, rather than focusing only on gun control, the Colombian government should address the underlying social and economic problems such as poverty, inequality, youth employment, and mental health, as the one I mentioned, in a major issue because it contributes to violence. All these scenarios, these four scenarios that I mentioned. So there should be a system that must be improved to screen applicants of gun license, detect illicit traffic, and focus. Forbidding guns only from dangerous individuals. That's not right. No, actually, that's right. Only for dangerous individuals, it must be prevented. The use for firearms. Sorry, because yeah, unfortunately, in 2017, the Constitutional Court of Colombia ruled in favor of protecting the law to bear arms for citizens. This shows that it's a constitutional law that should be not infringed. Several governors have issued decrees to make it easier for citizens. Sorry. Sorry, it's just that some kind of issues did happen in my area. So, yeah, several governors have issued to decrease to make it easier for citizens to get legal permissions to have firearms in their homes with personal self-defenses, which is good because this indicates recognition of the need of armed with the protection specifically in areas with guerrilla or paramilitary presence that several restrict legal access to weapons. And we often see an increase in the power of the illegal groups. It's increasing day by day, and like I say, without the access or allowing to have firearms, it's unable for us to do anything here for the civilian population. So there are many document cases where Colombia citizens have used their illegal weapons to defend their families from armed invaders or even protected themselves from criminal groups such as FARC, ELN, and so on. The one that is affected this country, the region here. So yeah, that's my opinion here. Let's better enforce current laws. That's something that I can say here. Let's improve the system to prevent dangerous people from obtaining guns. But let's not deprive abiding citizens of their rights. Let us preserve this vital part of American freedom, and we can achieve a good respect and the freedom that some people dream to, basically. More rules and regulation only affect citizens that respect the law. We need better enforcement of current law to keep guns out of the hands of dangerous individuals and not engage the right of the majority. Because in 2022, for example, a motorcycle taxi driver that we have here in the country, in the municipality for Magdalena, he successfully defended himself against two armed criminals who were trying to rob him, thanks to the fact that he was legally carrying a firearm, which is really important. This showed the value of weapons for self-defenses. In 2022 as well, license to legally carry weapons increased by 90% in Colombia, indicating that thousands of responsible citizens are choosing self-protections in the face of growing perception of insecurity. Also, there are more than 2,000 million legal weapons registered in Colombia. The vast majority of its owners have never committed crime. They must be able to keep their weapons to defend their lives in the face of rampant violence. So that's all that we have to say for today. Thanks again for your time, for watching this video. Together we can find a sensible solution to protect both our security and our fundamental freedoms. So let's just get a proof that, to perish the firearms gun in Colombia. Thanks again for watching, and see you the next time. Bye bye.